Carter's heading to get some firewood today. We're in the old Ford. And we picked up some of these while I was at the store. They're in a bottle. I hadn't seen them for a long time, but they had them at the store. He's never had one, and I ain't had them for a long time. Let me see that opener. We just bought us one of these while we was in Walmart here. Try that, Cardi. They're way better in a bottle. You like them? I ain't had one of them in a long time, years. My mama Marie used to love these things. These were her favorite pops. Carter's kind of making fun of me with my shades on. He said I think I'm cool, and I said there ain't no thinking to it. I know it. Ain't no thinking to it. So I'm picking that up.
Kind of like a bed trailer.
It's a bed extender. But anyways, we'll update once we get there. And we may be going to the Peddler's Mall too to look for some handles, axe handles. What?
I saw you said that. I know you were going to say that.
Axe handles?
Yeah.
I'll still take the Gingy over there. It's hard to beat that Gingy. Looks like rain clouds ahead. Well, over here to the side, definitely looks like rain. I think there's a tornado or something that touched down. I was just kind of seeing it on my phone. And we're supposed to be getting the after effects of that. Maybe some of y'all know what I'm talking about more than me. I just seen it on my phone today. I think it said Bertha or something. I don't know if that's talking about a hurricane or what. Maybe I think it was a tornado because it said it was touching down in Texas, I believe. So we're getting the effects of that, I guess. Uh-oh, it's gonna rain on us right when we get there.
All the windows up, boy.
So it should be on my side, I think.
I think all the even numbers are on your side and all the odd numbers are on my side.
All right, here's where we're at. Really nice neighborhood. Parked right around there somewhere. There's my truck up there. And then got to walk back through this gate and it'll be back there. Do what? This was a hot day here. I think the heat index was 100 degrees from what my mom was telling me. I spoke to her on the phone and she was kind of telling me how hot it was, but I can always it seems like you can kind of tell when it's 90 and up here in Kentucky if you felt it quite a bit, you know, and that's the heat that, the kind of heat that can be pretty dangerous. You gotta stay hydrated and stuff. You can see there, I'm guessing that's sweat on my back, even though I don't know why it's one big spot like that. By the end, all my clothes are wet, but I think this is a hackberry tree here. I'm not positive, but I believe that is a hackberry tree. It's a big tree. Even though those rounds that I'm kind of sitting on there and messing with aren't that big, the tree itself, which is right there with the vines on it, it was pretty big. It looks like an old tree. I'm guessing, just guessing by looking at how big around it is, I'm guessing 75 plus years, honestly. There it is, kind of a better view. But yeah, that is a big tree. And the wood did not split the grass. I haven't dealt with a whole lot of hackberry. I'm not even positive that is a hackberry, but I have dealt with hackberry before, and I had some big rounds of it that I got from a tree service, and I made a table out of it that I still have on our porch right now. So that table has held up for 6 or 7 years now, something like that. But not the easiest splitting wood, and this wood just wasn't very easy to get to either, which makes it to where I really wouldn't normally mess with it. But I was going to this area anyways. This is Winchester, Kentucky, and so I was planning to go there today anyways. And so while I was in that area, I found this wood online on the marketplace while I was on there, so I figured I would go ahead and get it. And what we've got out there, we were able to split. Didn't even make a full truck load altogether, but I think it's probably around 60% of a truck bed. And I've got some wood here at home to mix with it. I kind of just wanted to split wood, honestly. This place down the road here, I'm hoping to find out who owns it. There's land right down the road here, and there's oak all over it, white oak and red oak, I believe, and poplar, and some other stuff as well. And it's just right down the road here. And as you can see, you can kind of tell from the video there, that's on a hill, mainly from where the wood ends there to up to Carter is kind of the hill. So I tried to stack it, me and him, when we kind of pulled it off from the edge of the lawn there, we kind of tried to stack it, not so much on the incline. But yeah, not the easiest stuff to split this stuff. And you can definitely tell when it's really hot out too. When it's just humid and hot. That we weren't in the shade right there. Later on, I think that area kind of became shaded while we were there a little bit. But yeah, the heat makes a huge difference, no matter what kind of physical work you're doing. Just like in those trailers when I've unloaded those, you know, you've seen me in those trailers. It's so much different when you get up in the 90s. It just drains you, and if you ain't careful, you can end up having a heat stroke from it. Lots of people know that and everything, but I was seeing on my phone, I was reading it earlier actually, that there was a place, it's local here, it's the Red River Gorge, so it's not very far from me, probably about 30 minutes. I've been there many times. When I was younger, I used to go there quite a bit and go swimming at this big river. There was this huge rock there that we would jump off of, me and my friends, and I remember the first time I stood on it at the edge. It took me probably 2 hours to finally jump off of it into the water. And it's really not even that high. Probably about 15 feet, but I'm just really scared of heights. I always have been. But anyways, I was seeing on my phone where somebody, they had found a guy dead in his tent there here recently. I think maybe on the 1st. And from what I was reading, I think they may have thought it was due to the heat, but I'm not positive. And then there was another woman on one of the trails who rescuers had come to because she was suffering from heat exhaustion, I guess. So you really got to be careful in that kind of heat. I've missed firewood a lot though, and I got my Johnson Red back recently from Daniel. He ported it as well. I think he was saying it was around 80 cc's now or something of that nature. But it needed a carb, so I ordered a carb for it, and I've got that carb in now, so I'm planning to put that carb on it tomorrow. So I'm hoping to do some more firewood videos because I really miss those. And not only that, I just plan to sell some firewood. I'd really like to grow that as well, like I mentioned before. All that's kind of been put on hold where I've been trucking and been so busy, but I'm planning to sit and try to get some more firewood done and really get back into it. I miss it a lot. I enjoy it a lot more in trucking, I'll be honest with you. Firewood's something I love, but I'm definitely planning to make some more videos. I've actually been getting some messages on Messenger about it here recently, about firewood, and which is pretty early, really, being July, but usually in August is when I start getting calls. I guess some people like to try to go ahead and stock up on their wood and maybe give it some extra time to dry or whatever, or make sure it is dry even. This stuff right here is ready to burn, and that's part of why it's so hard. I believe this stuff has been down for a while, from what I can tell anyways. Some of it was even a little bit punky. But like I said, I think I filled up about 60% of my truck bed, something like that. The only thing is, I didn't like how lots of this, I don't understand why some people buck the wood so small. Some of this is probably 10 inches. That to me is just way too, which you got different people with different wood stoves, but I like it around 16 inches, 18 inches, something like that. It seems like that's what most people prefer as well. If you're doing a full cord of wood, then you go by 16 inches. 3 stacks, 4 feet tall, 4 feet wide, and 8 feet long. And what that comes out to, if you have 3 stacks of wood cut to 16 inches, that comes out to that 4 feet wide. So that's what most people go by when it comes to a full cord even. So, but I have had people that prefer it bigger and smaller, but usually I try, when I'm bucking it, I don't use a measuring stick or anything like that. I try to go by 16 inches, but some of this here was 10 inches and stuff, and just, I'm not sure why they do that, but I can use some of that in my little wood stove in the shed. But I'm actually planning to install a bigger wood stove in my shed, one that I can cook on, because I believe I'd really like to do some wood stove cooking. But yeah, this was hot this day. Carter was wanting to split too, and I do plan to let him continue splitting. I want him to be careful and everything, but I'm not going to be wearing any chainmail or anything hand splitting firewood. Definitely not going to be doing that. But now if I ever do chopping again, which I plan to with trees, I do plan to wear some chainmail. That big sycamore that some of y'all may have seen me do where I was chopping it down, when I passed that farm, he cut it down the rest of the way, I guess, so I'll never be able to finish that tree. I was hoping to do that. I kind of drug that out for a year or something. Anyways, it was the least of my priorities, to be honest with you. It was kind of just something for footage and fun, really. But I won't be doing that anymore without chainmail or some sort of protection on my legs. But I would like to get more into that chopping and stuff. I've got that little throwing axe here recently. I've been practicing with it. I have fun with that as well. It just something about axes. It's just they're fun, really. They're enjoyable, especially hand splitting. That's the funnest to me. Throwing's fun too, but hand splitting to me is the funnest. And then chopping down trees is very fun too, but just very dangerous. I've always seen that from the beginning. So that is humongous. I guess that's a wolf spider. Man, that's big. I've never seen one that big. Ooh. That is an ugly spider. Look at that thing. Ooh, and it was on that, and I just picked that up and threw it too. Yes.
Where did it go?
I see it, but I don't know if that killed it. It went under them logs. Ooh.
Did you pick that up?
Shelob. This place down the road here that I've mentioned, I don't know if I've ever shown that in my videos, but it's literally probably around 3 minutes down the road. It's on my road, and it's covered in wood. They logged it out, so I'm really wanting to go there. The 200-acre woods, I may go back there as well. Robert had his road redone out there, so that spot that I had a lot of trouble getting through, that was really rough on my truck, honestly. That Dodge I had, it was really rough on it because I would go through those ruts with, you know, a lot of weight of oak in the bed of that truck. Well, he has those ruts completely fixed now, because I've been there since then and I've seen it, and the road looks completely different. He had somebody come in there and do some work, and they did a really good job with it. Looks completely different. I've got a whole face cord of oak sitting there. It's been sitting there for over a year split, if I'm not mistaken, so it's ready to load up. So I may get back in touch with him and see about getting that, and maybe some more wood too. I'm not positive. That is one of my favorite locations, and then the cattle farm too. That's actually somewhere I want to go soon, and I want to run that Johnson Red. I'm excited to see how it does. Especially, it was already ported when I got it from him. In my older videos, you can see that saw run, and it cut good, you know, when it's sharp, of course. But now, I mean, it should have even more power. I think he said around 80 cc. But that's probably one of my favorite saws, that Johnson Red. But yeah, I'm wanting to get back into it. I need to get me a headache rack put on my truck. I was telling Carter today about watching the window, and I threw one little piece and it bounced up and hit the window a little, but it didn't shatter. I've done that twice. I've shattered my back windshields twice, and man, it's disappointing when you do that, because they're not cheap. Fortunately, I knew a guy that had one once, and he gave it to me. Very nice of him. I can't remember. I think in the Dodge. Yeah, in the Dodge, I put plexiglass in there. It's in my videos, actually, my older firewood videos. After I busted it, shattered it, I put some plexiglass in there. And I think I eventually got a window back there, but I can't remember. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I sewed it with that plexiglass window. I can't remember, to be honest with you. But anyway, it's very easy to bust them. So I'm planning to either make me a headache rack for this old Ford here, or buy one. Because really, I find them online that are pretty cheap, and they're metal. So I'll probably just do that, take that route. But this Ford's holding up good, this truck. It's doing really good. It's not burning oil, leaking oil. I checked the oil on it today. It's powerful, the engine's strong. It's got that 5.4 Triton in it, so I'm really liking this truck a lot. I gave, I think, $3,600 for this truck, which isn't too bad for a full extended cab 4-wheel drive truck, you know. That's what I like to do. I like to buy my things. If I get one on payment, it's just going to be because I'm putting that thing to work and it's paying for itself. Because I thought about doing some hot shot trucking later on, and you can lease some of their trucks. You can lease them, or you can, you know, lease to own them. So, and I may do that later, but it's going to be paying for itself. You know, I'm going to be putting that truck to work if I do that. I am kind of interested in that, but I'm interested in towing more than anything. Towing and roadside assistance. I don't know if you all have seen that before, and that's where you kind of go out and change people's tires for them and stuff. Say if they have a flat tire, you can plug the tire for them, or change the tire for them, put their donut on for them. You can do, I ordered a kit on Amazon, I think it was, or eBay one, but it's a lockout kit. And what it is kind of these little airbags that you pump up, and you can get it, you can kind of make a little space in the door of the vehicle, in between the door and the vehicle itself, and then you can fit a tool in there to where you can, you know, either pull up the lock or push the button or grab the keys, whatever. But it's a lockout kit, and which is another service that roadside assistance provides. And then also jump starts, you know, if somebody's battery's dead, jump starting them and stuff, alternators and stuff like that as well as part of it. So I'm kind of trying to get the equipment now and studying about it now and everything, because that's what I'm planning to do. I've done my own business once in my life, and I actually tried lawn care when I was younger, like 19 or something, and didn't do very well at all. But then I did it again when I was around 27 maybe. I'm 32 now, so 26 maybe. I was 26 or 27 when I went into the lawn care business for myself, lawn care and landscaping and firewood, and did well with that until the last 2 years, because I had quit with the lawn care. And now I'm going to be planning to do my own business again. I don't know for sure, but that looks like hackberry to me. I've dealt with that some, but not much. And it's been a while since I've dealt with it at all. That's kind of what that looks like. Some of it's got a little bit punky too, but there's quite a bit of solid stuff in there too. And towing and roadside assistance is what I'm wanting to get into for the long run. Towing and roadside assistance, and possibly a used car lot as well. I know a little bit about mechanics. I've done the engine swaps in my vehicles and everything, and I've you know, had the transmission off. I've had all the parts off really under the, not all of them, but many of the parts off under the hood of some of my vehicle, just because I'm a po' boy and I've had to try to either let the vehicle sit there or do something about it myself, you know. So most of the time that was my option. So I kind of learned a little bit about it, and thanks to YouTube and an old mechanic that I knew, I was able to learn a little bit. The mechanic's the one that taught me how to do the engine swap, so that was very, very valuable information. All right, there's what we got. Wasn't really a whole lot. Hackberry. It is hot today for hand splitting. You said it was 90? It was 90 earlier, so there's this little extra wood. There's all that was for the winter, and I don't even know that was really worth messing with, honestly. You never do when you get in a place like that. That's why I like logged out land, and I plan to be doing it at some logged out land for this year too. But I seen that online, and we were coming this way anyway, so to Winchester, so I figured might as well check it out. Now, anytime you got something like that though, where you've got to go that far, haul the wood that far, it just makes it that much harder. And then you put that 90 degrees on top of it. Sometimes it may not really be worth it to you. Honestly, I like to I'm trying more and more to, with my own business stuff, when I do work for people, to increase my profits, you know, because the economy is bad. Without a doubt, we can all see that it's horrible. Some people don't like that when you say it. I had a guy a while back comment when I told him that, you know, the economy was horrible under this administration, which it is. And when I commented back to him, he never did reply, probably because he didn't have a reply. I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm just telling the truth. So a lot of these things are common sense. The economy is horrible, and it's due to failed leadership for sure. So when the prices are that bad, when prices are up that high on everything like gas and food and equipment, everything, you've got to make your prices reflect that too, or your profit's going to be very low. You can't keep your prices the same when the economy is that bad, or you're not going to make really any profit, which I'm sure everybody knows that, and it reflects in their prices. But that's something I didn't do for a long time. I kind of kept my prices the same, but now I try to let it reflect the whatever the prices of everything else are around me. You have to go by that as well. And lots of times you work for old-fashioned people. I've done that. People that are maybe in their 80s and 90s, and it's like they want to try to pay like $6 an hour and stuff for work. I did a hillside for a guy one day, weed eating it, and keep going. I did a hillside for a guy one day, weed eating it, and when I did the hillside, after I got it done, he was trying to tell me, well, yeah, it's this much an hour, right? And I said, no, I said, I don't work by the hour. I work by the job. If I work by the hour, I wouldn't make much money at all, because that's how I make my profits. You know, a lot of the times when I do work for myself, is because I try to work fast. So if I was getting paid by the hour, I'd be working harder than I had to make a low amount of money. Unless I charged them a whole lot by the hour, and they wouldn't like that.